What's going on, Healing Place Church? So glad you decided to join us today for this daily devotional. I hope your day is going amazing. If not, hopefully it is after this. We're going to jump straight into the word today. Man, I love it. Matthew 9 through 10. And this is Jesus calling his disciples. It says, as Jesus was walking along, he saw a man named Matthew sitting in the tax collector's booth. Follow me and be my disciple, Jesus said to him. So Matthew got up and followed him. No questions asked, no bags packed. It says he just got up and followed him. It says later Matthew invited Jesus and his disciples to his home as dinner guests, along with many other tax collectors and other disreputable sinners. And I know this just looks like a narrative, but then this is saying so much about Jesus, who he is, and his mission, his call, what he's doing. And that's the first thing I want to talk about, man, is the calling. And Jesus calls Matthew to follow him. But not only is it just a simple call, you got to understand it says Matthew was a tax collector. Man, that means that he was the worst of the worst. He was considered basically a domestic terrorist. He was used by the government to exploit his own people, to terrorize his own people, to steal from his own people. Man, this is like comparable to the worst person that CNN talks about or the worst person that Fox News talks about. That's who Matthew is. And here it is, Jesus of all people comes and says, come and follow me. And I just love this because, man, it makes no logical sense. Jesus, first off, rabbis of that day, they didn't call people to follow them. People sought to follow them. They didn't seek people out. People sought them. And we see Jesus, he is out seeking Matthew. He's out seeking the worst of the worst to follow him, to choose him, to call them. And if you're watching this today, it's because Jesus is calling you. You know, the word says, many are called, few are chosen. Jesus is calling you today to follow him. He could have chosen anybody. He could have chosen the most qualified, yet he qualifies the called. And he's calling you, he's calling me. It makes no sense that he called me. Man, I had nothing when he called me, yet he did. Jesus calls Matthew to follow him and to leave everything. And just like that, man, Matthew knows that there's something special about this Jesus. He leaves everything and calls him. And hopefully you will do the same. If not, it's simply because you do not understand all that you can have in Jesus. You don't understand the invitation that's been handed to you. And I'm praying for you that, man, God opens your eyes to see that he is life and life abundantly. But then you see him, he calls Matthew, and then it says, Matthew says, man, what else am I going to do? This is what I'm used to doing. I'm about to throw a party. So we see the calling, then we see the party. Man, Matthew is about to throw a party. And man, if you have found Jesus, if you have truly understood what you have in Jesus, you can't help but be a party and throw a party. Because, man, when you discover what you can have in Jesus, that life can be so rich. You know, it says that we can see the goodness of God in the land of the living. We don't have to wait to heaven. But the closer we grow to God, the more joy we have, the more life we have, the more fulfillment we have in this broken world, because we have a God who is not broken. He is whole. And that'll cause you to throw a party, man. The longer you're a Christian, the happier you should be, the more joyful you should be, the more people should want to be around you. And it says that Matthew throws a party with all of these other tax collectors, all these disreputable sinners, all these people from his past. And the truth is God will call you out of something in order for you to shine where you're at, in order for you to reflect what you've been found to those that you left. And this is exactly what we see Jesus do here. Man, Matthew throws a party and starts introducing all of these lost people to Jesus. Man, this is what our lives should be. Your life should be a party. People should want to be around it. People should want to join. Sunday morning should be a party, man. This ain't no funeral. This is a celebration of the goodness of God that we can have. And it is not supposed to be a place of the church, the Christian elite, the religious elite. It should be a hospital of the broken, of the lost, of the hurting. And if it is not, that means that we're doing a bad job of Christians as inviting those people. So we see the calling, the party, and then we see the legacy. Man, why would Jesus call Matthew of all people? Why? Because even Matthew in his past, he was a tax collector. He was good at keeping record. He was good at keeping track of writing things down. He knew you when you owed him $5. He did not forget about it. He did not forget a thing. And then we see Jesus use Matthew to write this amazing book of the Bible, one of the best gospels that we have, one of the best recordings, one of the most intricate, detailed recordings of the gospel we have is from this very person, because God used the techniques, the talents of his past in order to make his future. And God wants to do the same in you. Man, God has put gifts inside of you that you've used, man, to influence people in the past, maybe in the wrong direction. And he wants to use them for his kingdom, for his purpose, for this calling that he's placed on you today. So I'm simply going to leave you the question today. He's calling you. Will you follow him? Man, it doesn't matter if you've been in church for years or this is the first time you've heard of this Jesus. We have to daily decide, I will follow you today, Jesus. Because you know the world will try to call us just as loud and just as vibrantly, but will you follow him today? I pray you do. Man, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope this thing blessed you, and we will see you back tomorrow.